MGF Lightweight Aluminium Davitsafe is a simple to assemble, two-piece, pole-mounted, cantilevered fall arrest and recovery system, which when combined with a heavy-duty steel base clamp can attach to a variety of MGF shoring products. The MGF Lightweight Davit is compatible with the Ridge Gear RG-A4 fall arrest and recovery winch and is compatible with MGF and other certified full-body rescue harnesses. MGF Davitsafe is only designed for emergency use, lifting a single person in a harness. The Davitsafe is not designed for lifting tools, materials or equipment. Prior to assembling, please ensure all parts and welds are free from damage and that all examination certificates are present. The Davit clamp is designed to be installed over existing vertical structures such as shoring walls, as well as a range of MGF products, including sheet-piled walls or trench box panels. Prior to installation, the customer must ensure that the sheet or box panel is rigid, square, plumb and secure enough to resist the loads when in use. Please see MGF technical documents for suitable products. If the clamp is to be used on steel trench sheets, then it should ideally be clamped across two sheets for additional stability. Also, if possible, the Davitsafe system should be installed on the sheets as early as possible to minimise the height of a potential fall into the excavation. Assembly of the system commences by installing the base clamp, ideally next to an excavation access point, ensuring the operative is safe and protected from a fall into the excavation. The clamp jaw should be lowered over the sheet before being clamped in place. The barrel mount on the clamp should be on the outside of the excavation. The integrated spanners allow the Davit clamp clamping bolts to be tightened without the need for any other tools. Once fixed in position, check that the clamp is level and properly secured. The lower Davit piece is now ready for install. MGF Lightweight Davitsafe comes pre-assembled with a Ridge Gear RGA4 winch connector. The RGA4 is a 15-metre 3-way retrieval block, fitted with an up-down winch mechanism and the standard fall arrest capability. The unit can be used as a standard fall arrest block, and in the event of a fall, the operative under arrest can be winched up or down to safety almost immediately. Note that the winch is for use only as a rescue and recovery unit and not for access or egress or winching up and down equipment or materials. The safe working load of the winch is 135 kg and should never be exceeded. The Ridge Gear RGA4 winch fits over the connecting bracket and is secured in place using the supplied bore lock pin. To insert the pin, depress the button within the head of the pin. The pin will be locked in place when this button is released. Prior to use, the winch should first be examined. The winch handle should be unfolded and the mechanism checked by using a lever to raise and lower the winch. Also check the locking mechanism by pulling firmly to lock the brake. The winch wire should also be examined, checking for any damage or abrasion. If the fall indicator hook is showing red, then the winch should not be used. Contact MGF for advice. Never attempt any maintenance to the winch. The upper davit arm can now be inserted into the lower davit socket. This simply sleeves within the lower davit connection. No pins are required. The upper davit features an extendable arm to give a greater clearance when in use. To extend this, simply unscrew the mechanism on the underside of the upper arm. When extended to the desired amount, sufficiently tighten the mechanism until it clicks. Once all the components are assembled, then the winch wire can be fed through both of the integrated pulleys on the upper davit arm. The winch can now be fixed to a compatible harness and used as a fall arrest. The Ridge Gear winch comes supplied with a length of blue nylon rope. This can be used to raise or lower the winch hook. Be aware of the rope when entering or exiting the excavation that it does not become a trip hazard. Simply pulling the rope and releasing it will cause the winch to retract. Care must be taken when raising the line in this way to prevent the cable bird nesting, rendering the winch unserviceable. Once the winch hook is fully retracted, then another operative can attach the hook to the D-ring on their full body harness and also enter the excavation. In the event of a fall, the winch mechanism will lock and prevent the operative from falling. If this happens, the operative would have to be lifted or lowered by manually operating the winch lever. After a fall arrest incident, the winch should not be used again and should be returned to MGF. Disassembly of the Davitsafe is a reverse of the assembly and should commence by first removing the winch. It is crucial that during the removal, the operative does not put themselves in a position of danger by leaning over the excavation. When removing the Davitsafe components, make sure adequate edge protection is installed. Once the winch has been removed, the upper davit can be simply lifted out of the socket of the lower davit. The lower davit is now lifted out of the barrel mount on the clamp. The clamp can now be removed by unscrewing the clamping bolts and then lifting off vertically.